listed auto camera. Rain falling outside. If you look closely every so often, you see a little flash of lightning. And right now, it's 65 degrees in Rochester, Mason City 70. We have gray skies, showery weather. Typical high this time of the year is 74 in the weather almanac. Sunset at 8:48, and the allergy report is moderate for trees. Everything else in the low range today. And look for more showers and some thunder, especially this morning through about 9 or 10 o'clock. Then brief showers. Maybe a rumble of thunder, but not many of those afternoon. Look for brief periods of sunshine with increasing sun late in the day and a bit of a south breeze. Look for a high of 80 degrees this afternoon. So showers the first half of the day and things getting progressively sunnier and actually got a pleasant summer light this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything today, but definitely June-like.
It's very typical for June.
Yes, which we're now in. Thank you, Ted. We are learning new information this morning from the Minnesota BCA on the shooting that killed Minneapolis police officer Jamal Mitchell.
Yeah, the agency breaking down the timeline of events leading up to the gunfire. According to the BCA, police were initially responding to a shooting at an apartment complex. Officer Mitchell was first on the scene. Over the radio, he said he saw 2 injured men on the street. One of those men has been identified as suspected shooter Mustafa Muhammad. The BCA says Mitchell approached Muhammad and asked if he needed help. That's when Muhammad pulled out a gun and shot Mitchell at close range several times. Investigators say Muhammad then started shooting at other officers. They returned fire, one of them fatally shooting him. That officer was also hurt in the shootout.
To honor fallen Officer Mitchell's life, the Minneapolis community came together Sunday to remember him, praying, singing songs of worship, and sharing their appreciation for law enforcement. According to Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, Mitchell was not only a member of the department since 2022, he was also a father, son, fiance, friend, and most importantly, a hero.
There's some officers that are very deeply affected by what happened because they were there, especially those who were there in the first few minutes and tried to stop the shooting and tried to save the officer's life and other people's lives.
Dispatchers working at the time of the shooting were also in that crowd.
A bombshell from the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. The county attorney says she is dropping charges against a Minnesota State Trooper, Ryan Londrigan. He was charged with murder for the shooting death of Ricky Cobb II during a traffic stop last July. The county attorney says she came to this decision after Londrigan's defense team presented new pieces of evidence that would have made his prosecution impossible. Londrigan claims he saw Cobb reach for his firearm shortly before he fired gunshots that ultimately killed Cobb. Also, prosecutors say a state patrol trainer claimed he never instructed officers to hold back from shooting into a moving car while trying to get a suspect out of the vehicle, but said refraining from firing at a moving car is best practice. After these testimonies, and working with the use of force experts, the county attorney and prosecutors decided to dismiss the case. The trial was scheduled to start on September 9th.
It has been more than a year after she first went missing, and Madeline Kingsbury's spirit is still alive thanks to the community of Winona keeping her life and story right at the forefront. The community coming together Saturday on what would have been her 28th birthday. Her body was found in a culvert north of Mabel on June 7th. Kingsbury's ex-boyfriend and father of her 2 young children, Adam Fravel, is charged with her murder and is waiting for a jury trial that is yet to be set. Friends and family say it is difficult celebrating her without physically being present.
I know she would have loved to have fun and eat and dance and sing. So it's hard, but I know that she's watching us and proud of what we're doing for her today in her honor.
In Madeline's memory, organizations like the Winona Women's Shelter and Bluff Country Medical Resources attended the vigil with the goal of ending domestic violence. We do have a link to all of this on our website, KTTC.com. A new study is revealing some shocking new details about children and mental health. According to Girl Scouts of the USA, Young girls are experiencing loneliness.
Yeah, this is a topic we're digging into this morning. Our Charles Kelly looking into this research. He's joining us now in studio to kind of break it all down for us to understand. So, Charles, what are you kind of learning about this?
Jess and Kelsey, the new research says 70% of girls between the ages of 5 and 13 are experiencing loneliness. The study says with age, this feeling only intensifies and takes a toll on these girls' confidence. The data shows 86% of girls between the ages of 5 to 7 express belief in their ability to take on these challenges, but that number drops to 80% for girls ages 8 to 10, and for 11 to 13 years old, only 73% believed in their ability. After looking into this research more in depth, I was able to speak with Girl Scouts River Valleys on what the contributors are to these feelings of loneliness and how the group is working to empower these young girls. We'll hear from the organization coming up a little later in the newscast. Live in studio, Charles Kelly, KTTC News.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Yeah, we look forward to hearing that interview later.
Claudia Sheinbaum is making history as the first woman to be elected to as president of Mexico. The former Mexico City mayor led with 58% of the vote. That is according to the count released by the National Electoral Institute. Her victory ensures another 6 years in power for the Morena political party, founded 13 years ago. Her top rival, a pro-business tech entrepreneur with indigenous origins, finished with around 27%.
Over the weekend, former President Donald Trump gives his first interview since being convicted on all 34 counts in his criminal hush money case. The 90-minute interview aired on Sunday on Fox and Friends. The former president praising the Republican Party for sticking together around reaction to his verdict and calling the Democratic Party the enemy from within. Trump also says he is okay with the potential for house arrest or jail.
So that could happen. I don't know that the public would stand it. I'm not sure the public would stand for it. With a,
if they tried house arrest or
I think it would be tough for the public to take. At a certain point, there's a breaking point. But people get it. It's a scam, and the Republican Party is really they've stuck. They stick together in this. They see it's weaponization of the Justice Department, of the FBI.
Trump is set to be sentenced on all of those 34 felony counts in New York on July 11th, just days before the Republican National Convention.
Rudy Giuliani, Trump's former lawyer, has already had his law license suspended in New York, and now he is facing the possibility of being barred from practicing law in the nation's capital. The D.C. Bar's Board on Professional Responsibility is making that recommendation, citing Giuliani's work in Pennsylvania after the 2020 presidential election, when he sought to have the state's election results thrown out. They say that violated Pennsylvania's rules of professional conduct. The recommendation now goes to the D.C. Court of Appeals, and that's going to decide if Giuliani will be disbarred. In a statement, a spokesperson for Giuliani said the decision would discourage attorneys from representing Donald Trump. Casting for a Cure. Some competitive fishing in Duluth is raising money for people impacted by ALS.
Yeah, fishermen across the state coming together hoping to reel in funds, literally, for a good cause. The 29th annual Kohler Toyota ALS fishing tournament uses a catch-and-release photo scoring system on a smartphone app. The tournament director says organizers have continually added new elements to the event every year to grow participation with the goal of finding a cure for this disease.
We continue to innovate and find new ways for people to get involved. We added muskie this year, which we've never done before, so we're always looking for ways to continue to put on a great show and make sure the anglers have fun, and ultimately we can raise some money.
For a good cause as well, of course. The tournament is a fundraiser for Never Surrender, which is an organization that donates money to people with ALS and the medical community for ALS research. And according to that group's website, it is 59% of its goal, with more than $178,000 raised. It is 5:09. We have heard a lot of concern over plans for the future of the Silver Lake Dam, and the city of Rochester wants to answer your questions in upcoming sessions.
Plus, this week we pause to reflect on the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and important events are already underway. first on this bit of a rocky Monday morning. Here's Ted.
A bit of rain on the radar. It's going to be several hours of rain and some thunder in our area. Looks like we'll have to deal with some soggy conditions for a few hours before things improve. But a taste of summer is certainly here. Some warm readings ahead in the coming days. The full forecast is coming up after the break.
When a story breaks.
We have new information after a body was discovered.
The city of Rochester wants to hear your thoughts and questions related to the Silver Lake Dam project. Upcoming information sessions will be giving the community a chance to hear from the city team on the proposed project, where things are in the process and next steps if the project is approved by the City Council. Part of the plan includes removing the dam and creating a series of cascading pools. There will be 2 information sessions for residents to submit questions about this. The first will be in person at the RCTC Heinz Center on Wednesday from 6 until 7. The second session is virtual. That is happening 1 week from today from noon until 1:30. The future of the Silver Lake Dam has been a heavily debated topic as several residents have already spoken out against any changes.
D-Day is this Thursday, and a mass parachute jump over Normandy kicked off a weekend of commemorations for the 80th anniversary of this important day in history. Allied troops fought from D-Day beaches in Normandy, France, 80 years ago to Adolf Hitler's fall, freeing Europe of his tyranny. The upcoming week events will include fireworks shows, solemn commemorations, and ceremonies. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, President Biden, and British royals are among the leaders France is expecting for D-Day events.
Here's your first alert weather with meteorologist Ted Schmidt.
Showers on the radar this morning. Are dealing with some thunder, also some rain, and some downright soggy conditions, and some loud conditions as well this morning. As we look ahead at some rain moving through Rochester right now, we've had some wave after wave of thunder in the area. Not severe weather though, but it certainly has been a thunderous situation this morning as we look ahead at satellite radar across the map right now on Future Track radar. Yeah, it certainly is impressive looking. We see the oranges and some of the reds. Not large hail, not damaging wind gusts, but maybe some gusty winds and some lightning and some downpours of rainfall. More of that around Albert Lee, marching northeastward, Rochester, up toward Reed's Landing, up toward Wabasha and Lake City. All these areas dealing with some rain, back edge of the rain. Still a few hours away, so we'll have to deal with that for the morning. Gray skies, rain. If you look closely, look long enough, you'll see a little flash of lightning outside here or there because there is certainly some of that on the map. Rochester now 65 degrees. We've cooled a bit since the top of the hour, or top of the program. We were around 70 just before our newscast started, but now we're cooling to the 60s with the rain falling. Mason City 70. Winona 68 degrees. Rain and some thunder for the morning commute, 65 degrees. Not a big surprise given what we just saw on the radar. There will certainly be some of that rain in much of the area today. Showers and storms, especially this morning. Afternoon looks sunnier, brighter, less of the rain around. Very little rain, in fact, after lunchtime. Not completely done until about 4 or 5 o'clock, though. But tomorrow, similar situation the other way around, though. We start slow buildup of rain. The best chance will be late in the day and evening hours, and maybe a couple of strong storms with the cold front moving in. Not a big widespread risk of severe weather, but maybe just a few strong storms tomorrow before all of this activity moves out and things do quiet down. But here's Future Track computer modeling. We start the day very mild with temperatures of 60s, showers moving through. We go into the early afternoon hours, or at least late morning hours, activity becomes more scattered, hit or miss activity, maybe a stray shower or two until about 3 or 4 this afternoon. Temperatures in the low 80s. Temperatures tonight dropping to the 60s with clearing skies. And then tomorrow, I'll start the day with a spotty shower or two by noon or in the early afternoon. Then more widespread showers and storms migrate into the area from the west from around 5 or 6 in our western counties until about 10 o'clock tomorrow. Chance of maybe a couple of strong storms in the area. Rain chances today, most widespread until 9 o'clock. Then we see activity slowly ramping downward or becoming more hit or miss, more diffuse. Those rain chances completely disappear by 4 this afternoon. And level 1 risk tomorrow from 5 to 10 p.m. for the Storm Prediction Center. Hail, gusty winds, the primary concerns, but much larger risk south of us. But certainly some that bears watching. To go with the possibility of heavy rain, an inch to an inch and a half of rain in the next 2 days on top of the rain we've already seen in recent days. Rain chances today, tomorrow, slight chance Wednesday afternoon as well. Then things really get quiet and comfortable. Sunny and tranquil weather for Thursday and the entire weekend. Temperatures mainly in the 70s with some sunshine. Today, afternoon sun, but first we'll have to deal with some rain and some storms this morning. 80 degrees this afternoon, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, 64. 7-day forecast, showers and storms today, tomorrow, brief shower Wednesday, and then the weekend looking terrific.
Yeah, kind of a soggy start to summer vacation for a lot of kids enjoying their first full day off today.
A little wet, at least to start today, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Deb.
It is 5:18. The state softball tournament brackets have been released, so we're going to share where our local teams stack up in that. Plus, the Twins are on the road this week, so we have a preview of their upcoming game against the Yankees coming up next in sports. And be sure to always stay up to date with KTTC everywhere you go by downloading our app. It is free for all Apple and Android devices.
Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Nathan Ogden with your top sports headlines of the day. The Minnesota Twins bounced back from a loss on Saturday to beat the Astros 4-3 yesterday. Houston moved ahead in the third on an Alex Bregman 2-run homer, but then Jose Miranda came up clutch. A solo homer in the 6th to tie it up, and in the 8th, an RBI double to give Minnesota the lead, which would eventually turn into the win. For the Twins, that means they take the weekend series winning 2 of 3. They improve to 33-26 and get a day off today before a trip to New York to take on the Yankees tomorrow. Check out who made an appearance at the Minnesota Lynx game last night, the champs. PWHL Minnesota with a shiny new piece of hardware to show off. Maybe some of their success rubbed off on the Lynx last night because Minnesota took down the Dallas Wings 87-76 to give them a 6-2 start to the season. It's the best record in the Western Conference at the moment, a stark turnaround from when they lost the first 6 games of the season last year. And the win also a milestone for Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. It gave her 306 career victories, which ties Bill Laimbeer for second most in WNBA history. She can pass the old Pistons big man on Wednesday when the Lynx travel to the City of Angels to take on the LA Sparks. The state softball tournament brackets have been released, meaning we know what's next for the Section 1 champions. In Class 3A, the Winona Windhawks are representing Section 1 after an extra innings win in the championship over Wabasha Kellogg. The Windhawks earned the 2 seed in the class. In round 1, they'll take on the Section 3 champions, Simley. That game is at Caswell Park in Mankato on Wednesday, with first pitch set for 12:30. Not much of a surprise in the seeding for Randolph in Class 2A. The Rockets didn't lose a single game this year until dropping the first game of the section championship to Caledonia, but they won the second, and now they've earned the top seed in the class. The overall 1 seed Randolph may be the team to beat. Their first round matchup is Wednesday at Caswell Park with first pitch set for 3 p.m. The coolest flowers around, the blooming prairie awesome blossoms, are representing Section 1 in the Class A state tournament after a tremendous turnaround in the section championship. And they've been slotted into the 3 seed in the class. Their first round matchup is with West Lutheran Warriors on Wednesday at Caswell Park in Mankato. First pitch is set for 5:30 p.m. That'll do it for your sports headlines this Monday morning. Have a great day.
NBC's American Ninja Warrior returns tonight on KTTC to begin a 16th season.
Yeah, this is such a fun show, isn't it? It's following a milestone season that saw Vance Walker become just the 3rd person to win the show's $1 million prize. Walker is among the ninjas returning this season, trying to make it back-to-back $1 million wins.
Well, as soon as the champagne dries after we give away $1 million, NBC comes down and goes, that was great. Let's not do it again. The course is going to be harder. We're going to push them even more when they're doing their side-by-side racing. Some brand new obstacles to challenge them, but some familiar faces coming back. It's going to be an epic season.
Epic. Love that. American Ninja Warrior, if you want to watch it, airs tonight at 7 o'clock right here on KTTC. All right, let's send it over to Ted to see how our forecast for the dog walks are looking.
Kind of an unsettled day for dog walk. We have some showers and some thunderstorms this morning. A little wet for a dog walk first day. It gets better in the afternoon. It'll be a warm one though. Skies will clear off. We'll have some warm sunshine and temperatures climbing around 80 degrees. Here's Bear from Austin, our featured dog in today's dog walking forecast. Bear looks like he's probably not going to be having an issue with that. Maybe a little wet, but probably not afraid of a puddle or two. But looks like the afternoon will certainly be better for the walk overall.
Okay, yeah, Bear patiently waiting. He looks like a well-mannered dog there. Thanks, Ted. It is 5:25. A new detour begins today in Leroy that may impact some drivers' commute for the next few months.
Plus, a historic moment for American Catholics as Rochester joins a national Eucharistic procession. We're going to fill you in on that coming up.
Meet our pup friends and
years of work to relieve traffic congestion to downtown Rochester officially begins service today. What you need to know.
Plus, severe weather hit southeast Minnesota over the weekend. We are hearing reaction from residents of Casson.
And we have some more thunder in the area today. Showers and some thunderstorms. Not severe weather at the moment, though. We're just looking at a soggy start to our week. We do still have some storm chances, though, for a couple of days. The full forecast is coming out.
Live from your local news leader, this is KTTC News.
Good Monday morning, everyone. We appreciate you waking up early with KTTC News today. I'm Kelsey Marier.
And I'm Jess Abrahamson. Good morning. You are waking up on this Monday to some rain after we had some storms last night as well. Let's get the latest on all of this with meteorologist Ted Schmidt.
Some intense hail last night in a couple of those storms, some down